So for people to Japa, it means there's something wrong here. Japa is a symptom of a disease. Japa is not the disease. Broken system is the disease. Broken system, we defeat a good person, a good leader, any day, anytime. The country becomes attractive when effort and opportunity begin to meet. So the question is not just that people leave. The question should be that what makes people
leave. Welcome to the National Values Podcast. Every day, thousands of young Nigerians dream of leaving the country in search of better opportunities, security, and a future they can believe in. Some have already left. Many more are preparing to. But what does that say about Nigeria? Is Japa simply a survival strategy in difficult times? Or is it evidence of deeper leadership and institutional failures? And perhaps more importantly, what does patriotism look like in a generation that increasingly sees living as a path to progress? My name is Uzoma Ezeson, and today on National Values Podcast, we are asking a difficult question. Is Japa a survival strategy or a leadership failure? Our guest today is Ekenedilichukwu Charles Emmanuel. You can call him Saintcharles. He is a strategic leadership coach, an educator, media producer, the founder of the Ekenedilichukwu Institute of Strategic Leadership, convener of African Students Leadership Summit, and director of VI Media Africa, whose work focuses on youth leadership, governance transformation, and human capital development across Africa. Mr. Charles, it's nice to have you here. You're welcome.
Thank you for having me, Uzo. I'm glad to be on this podcast today because the issue you're discussing is of utmost importance to me personally. Yes, so thank you for having me.
Thank you. You're welcome. So when you hear the word Japa, what comes to your mind?
What comes to my mind when I hear the word Japa, I think we need to is a word from Nigerian, one of the Nigerian languages that we have, which is to flee. That's the direct meaning of Japa. It means to flee. So when I hear of the word Japa, I lived in Southwest some times ago, and so if I hear of the word Japa, I mean it doesn't mean anything. Japa, it means the guy has flee. But if I'm in the north and I hear the word, of course you won't hear the word Japa, you hear the word Amphara. Amphara means give way, let's run. So it's a different in the same words almost, but in different context, you have different meaning. So literally Japa means to flee. Yeah. Except if you put it in a context, then we'll start discussing whether the prevailing language or the word that now has maybe taken over the entire space in terms of maybe leaving the country or migration and all. So we now know, are we talking about leaving the country or like migration or just like flee? Or you saying somebody's running away from where? So, based on what you ask, and what I think you are talking about, Japa in this context means fleeing the country. Running away from the country. Yeah. So you want to flee. Everybody's trying to, run away. So, your question, what comes to my mind? What comes to my mind is basically a survival strategy, a rational survival strategy, actually. But for the nation, I think Nigeria should look at it as a feedback. Is a feedback of a systemic issue, because in solving problem, you need to first look at whether the problem is a basic problem or complex problem or a wicked problem. and you have to also be prepared to, solve the problem that the problem you're solving will create. Because a problem plus solution will give you a challenge. So you must prepare for it. So Japa, in the context you are talking about this, you're trying to run away from the country. So the country have to ask themselves, or ask the government, need to ask question, why are the people
Japman?
You use the word, I don't know if Japan is correct. Or like in this context, why are the people Japan? Yeah. So that's the way I see Japa.
Okay. I really love the cultural context that you provided, talking about what it means if you are in the north, what it means if you are in the south. But let's come to social media, right? Okay. Social media frames Japa as a strategic escape hatch.
Okay.
Right? It's an escape hatch. People just want to leave the country in search of greener pastures, in search of opportunities. But is it fair to look at it as a loss of patriotism, right? Or can it be reframed as an extension of Nigerian resilience?
I think we need to redefine the definition. We need to redefine it so that we don't fall into the trap of one-sidedness.
Okay.
Because if you say Japa is lack of patriotism, that may not be correct. Okay, so let me start by looking at it this way. Japa, like I said earlier, is a symptoms. So for the individual that wants to Japa, that wants to migrate from Nigeria or from Zimbabwe to other Western nation, it means that for him is a survival strategy, like I said earlier. But for the nation is a feedback, because people don't migrate from the principle of osmosis. You move from the lower concentration to the higher concentration.
Yeah.
So people don't leave the country. People leave system. People leave system, broken system, corrupt system, institutional unreliability. These are the kind of system that people live. So it's not about why people live. Let's take the question deeper to understanding what kind of condition are we creating for talent or innovative people to remain, not just why are they living.
Okay.
So if you are looking at Japa as a loss of patriotism, I think I beg to differ, because patriotism in this time and age should not be geographical. Because we live in an interconnected world, right?
Sure.
So patriotism is not about the place you are. It's not about the location. It's about your contribution, your commitment, your building, and your trustworthiness, your hope, your belief that this would work. So you can leave Nigeria and still be patriotic to the people of Nigeria or to the nation Nigeria. And you can remain in Nigeria and still not be patriotic.
Not patriotic.
Because patriotism is about how invested are you on the growth of the people or your people. So you can. So patriotism is more psychological than it is location or geographical. So it is not lack of patriotism. And also, Japa is not just a survival strategy. It's a rational survival strategy, because people don't leave the country, people leave a system. So for people to Japa, it means there's something wrong here. So we need to ask our deeper question, which is what and how and what should we build to make sure that people remain.
Okay. But wouldn't you say that the massive, exodus of young people from Nigeria to other parts of the world, the brain drain, don't you think that it is impacting on Nigeria on our economy, on our governance systems, on everything that's to do with Nigeria. Because if everyone should leave Nigeria, who would then build Nigeria? Yes, I'm glad you said it's a feedback that the government should take and do something about, create the enabling environment for these young talents, for these innovative people to stay back and build. But in a situation where that is not happening, should everyone just leave? So if everyone leaves, who then will build Nigeria?
Good. Like I said earlier, the consequences of these symptoms, Japa is a symptoms of a disease. Japa is not the disease. Broken system is the disease.
It's a disease.
No. So Japa is just the symptom. If you are feeling headache now, the headache is not the issue. There's something that is causing the headache for you to. So when you take paracetamol or Panadol, what you do is you numb the pain.
The symptom,
so the passage of the neurons or the passage of the pain to where you feel it will be numbed. There will be a bridge. They will cut it off. But the pain is still there.
Yeah.
So most times when you see Japa is a symptom. And people have been pushed to the corner where the best thing they can do is to move down to where they can be valued. Imagine a young Nigerian, a young African who studied for 6 years, right, with distinction, tick all the marks, tick all the boxes rather, and then there is no opportunity. So if such a person leaves the country, the person is not leaving the country, the person is leaving a system that is not providing enough opportunity. The person is leaving an unreliable institution. The person is leaving a corrupt system where meritocracy is not promoted. Right? So now that I'm talking from the standpoint of the Nigerians. Now let's look at it from the building the nation Nigeria. If, like you said, the mass exodus, won't it affect in building the nation Nigeria? Again, I would say that it's important for us to understand that in migration spectrum, right, people that are left or that are living, we have about three kind of citizens. There are people that exit citizen. I call them exit citizen. When they leave, they cut off from Nigeria. They cut off everything that has to do with that nation, right? And then we have a remote citizen, someone that when they leave, right, they still contribute to their family. They still send some, helping. Mentoring, knowledge sharing back home. We have them. And we also have bridge citizens. These are people that use their global influence to, build the nation at home. I mean, we have people like Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, right? We have brilliant minds like Dr. Adesina, right? The former Agricultural Development Bank.
African Development Bank,
AFDP. Now, these are brains that are serving like a bridge. They may not be presently in Nigeria, but they are using their influence globally to affect. So the effect of Japa, we must appreciate that. And what is the effect? The effect is that it will reduce the pressure on the government, because mass exodus of people are leaving, like there is mass exodus of Nigerians. So it means that we're going to have less pressure on the government. And poor leadership, right? Poor leadership creates frustration, and frustration creates disengagement. People don't want to be part of it. I mean, I'm tired of this system. I'm tired of this. So they'll be disengaged. Now, if they are disengaged, disengagement create weakened accountability. Disengagement weaken accountability. And a weak accountability will definitely produce poor governance. So poor governance will repeat the cycle, creating more frustrated people.
Yeah.
So you see the cycle.
So it keeps happening.
So it keeps happening, and also it's a repetition. It's a cycle that we must have to break it. So when you say that won't it affect? Yes, it will. But if we have more bridge citizens, we have more remote citizens who are contributing back home, right? And they are also pressuring the government to do what needs to be done to create the enabling environment, to create opportunity, to ensure that there's meritocracy, to ensure that there's leadership accountability. I mean, nation Nigeria, another nation in Africa can be built regardless. Okay. So it's not about brain drain. We should be talking about brain circulation. We should be talking about brain circulation, where we knowledge sharing. These people, they traveled out, and so they've got what is working over there, and they implement it here in Nigeria. But where the problem lies is that when you see people travel out of this nation, Nigeria, and you still see them promote bad governance from over there in Nigeria, and that is where you're talking about wicked problem. The wicked problem is when the people solving the problem are the problem.
Are the problem themselves.
It's a wicked problem. So beyond the brain drain, let's not be talking about brain, because see, migration cannot be stopped. Migration will always continue. People will migrate, but with what intention? So let's hope that we will not start talking about hope drain. Let's just stop at brain drain, because brain drain can be, redefined to be brain circulation, like knowledge exchange.
Okay, it's an interesting perspective. You said that migration can never stop. It will keep happening. So the question now is, how do we build a shared Nigerian dream, or should I say a shared Nigerian vision, right, that will enable the Nigerians in diaspora to contribute to national transformation? How do we build that? Or do we even have something we call Nigeria's dream? That should be the first question.
Okay, so you see, dream. What the question is? Let's start with what dream really is. Because if you say, do we really have Nigerian dream? Well, let's check. Dream is a believable pathway, right? A believable pathway that connect effort and reward.
Okay.
So whenever we don't have that believable pathway, the future is not clear, the vision is ambiguous. Remember that we are already dealing globally, we're dealing with VUCA era. The volatility, the uncertainty, the complexity, and the ambiguity is hitting everywhere. Good. So talking about Nigerian dream. So if there is no, clear pathway, believable pathway between that will connect your effort and reward, then there's no dream. Because you have a Nigerian dream when hard work matters. You have a Nigerian dream when integrity matters. You have a Nigerian dream when meritocracy is topping the charts.
It's the order of the day.
It's the order of the day. But when you don't have a Nigerian dream, when there is unpredictability, so people don't want to live in a system where they cannot predict. I can't invest where I don't know what's next. So I invest here in this city, or for example anywhere, and then tomorrow somebody will, because of executive order, crash down the entire 1 billion naira or dollars investment. So when there's no predictability, people don't believe in such a system, right? So Nigerian dream can be defined if we have predictable institution, reliable institution, leadership, accountability, meritocracy, opportunity density, where people can have opportunity to do what they can do and make ends meet, right? Not being a beggarly, right? So that is when you can say there is Nigerian dream. Until then, I think we may just be vacillating and then holding conferences all around the country and speaking good grammar.
Okay, so what do we do to build that dream so that our brothers and sisters in the diaspora can contribute to the national transformation?
What we should do is, first, we need to have a collective vision. We have to have a collective vision because we have come to that point where people have different truths. This is my dream. This is my dream. So we don't really have a national
vision.
So if we should come to that table where we have a national
vision.
It's not about what I like. It should be about what is right.
True.
For the benefit of the nation. And that's why I'll bring you back again to patriotism. Are we patriotic at all?
I don't think we are.
So patriotism is not whether you leave the country or you don't leave the country, whether you stay or you don't stay.
It's about what you do.
Your commitment to the national development. It's about being invested in ensuring that these young ones are brought up with the right value system. It's about being intentional in the business that you are saddled with. I mean, something hit me. Is it 2 years ago? I was on Twitter and someone from the diaspora was requesting for someone that would manage his business that he wants to establish in Nigeria. And he said a statement. He made a statement which got me thinking. He said, I know you are going to steal, but please don't steal more than 10%.
Wow.
So, out of the abundance of the heart,
the mouth speaks.
He already knew the system at play.
What is obtainable?
So he's giving room and giving the space for that. How do we sort such a problem? I know the current argument is, which I think I'm at the other side of the spectrum, where I believe that a broken system will defeat a good leader. Because you ask a question, how do we then enable such an environment where the diaspora can also invest? Broken system will defeat a good person, a good leader, any day, anytime. So the first thing we should do is understand that the system at play or that's at work now is broken. How do we fix the system? So we need to first tell ourselves the truth by dropping our religious, ethnic, and what else again that has been dividing Nigeria, and then come to a consensus that this is what we want. Nigeria do not know what they want as a nation. You have 5 years or 10 years plan in terms of your strategy to becoming the better person and all, but as a nation we are stalked.
Every administration comes with their own plan.
So if we have a dream, which some states or some nations, you hear the word master plan to build a certain city, anyone that comes, I mean, look at America, right? Whosoever you are not bigger than the institution. You are not bigger than the judiciary. They will tell it to your face. So it means they have a very strong system, a very strong institution that beats you to ensuring that the national goal, vision is achieved. So, but here we are, somebody is coming up with 7-point agenda. I saw something recently that it is when you get to 400 level, you now know why Nigerian president or Nigerian government abandon projects. How that your project supervisor can throw you all around and
can mess you up.
Right. So we need to be intentional in rebuilding the system, and it starts from home, because leadership is not just elected officials, right? Leadership starts from you. It starts from that family. Because if two liars marry themselves, you know what they will produce.
Yeah.
So it starts from the family, the community, the state, the local government. These are, I mean, the people we elected to go represent us at the National Assembly, they came from a family. Right? And so if they found someone that do not have a good family, that do never understood what it means to go to school with a certain level of comfort, right? And you are telling the leader elected to approve certain budget, it's so strange to him because he never enjoyed. So their lived reality is different from what you are requesting as a nation. Nigerians are not asking for much. Bare minimum. So how can diasporan, invest? They have to, because that they left the country does not mean that they are not part of Nigeria anymore.
Let me stop you there. You said something very striking. You talked about our elected leaders, that they are from the people, right? So do we now say that the value system is the issue? That as a country, as a nation, as a people, that Nigerians, our value system is so warped that the kind of leaders we produce are nothing to write home about.
Like I said earlier, the leadership feedback loop, right? Poor leadership creates frustrated people. Frustrated people create disengaged people. Disengaged people, we create weakened accountability. A weak accountability will create poor governance. Poor governance will create frustrated
people.
Now, all this boils down to the family unit, like you said. All this boils down to family unit. Where are these people coming from? Because somebody had opportunity by scheme or gimmicks or by prosy or by whatever means, found himself at the position of authority, doesn't make him a leader. Let me also say, as a leadership development coach, leadership is not by position. Leadership is not in the title you bear. It's in the value you are adding. Leadership is it's not in the position you occupy. It's in the contribution you are making, the tremendous contribution you are making. And this contribution must take humanity from point A positively to point B, so that you are making progress. Progress on what direction? So these people came from broken home. Broken, when I mean system, I mean home, marriage and all. So these are issues. And they find themselves at the end of affair, like, imagine someone that do not have value system sitting to make a law that will guide your entire life. Someone do not have good value system. That his belief system is it's nothing to write home about. And these are the people you think would make laws that will guide your entire life and take your nation from good to better. It doesn't work that way. So we need, first of all, you need to fix the system. How do we fix the system? Holding ourselves accountable. Holding our friends accountable. Because these people came from some club, association, right? By the virtue of what we do at the African Student Leadership Summit, I've realized how that the current system we have now, the current leaders that we have now, you may think that they are corrupt in terms of embezzlement of funds and all. I mean, the people lining up to take over their position
are even more corrupt.
More, because sophisticated.
Oh,
so
God.
The way to fix the system is, let's get back to ourselves, tell ourselves the truth, fix our marriage, fix our family, and of course the data with which we are making decisions. Because no nation is better than the data that the nation is consuming. And the data comes from media, social media. I mean, look at countries like China. They regulate what they see, because what you see, you become. What you hear, you become. What you watch, you become. Leaders can teach, right? But we produce who we are. So when there is a kind of leader that you have as the president. Okay, let's look at, for example, the first 4 months of the late former president, General Muhammadu Buhari. The first 2 months, everywhere was sane. Every department, agency, because they thought that this man is coming to crack down any form of corruption.
Yeah.
You can see. So, but what I'm going to bring about is not just what happened after that. It is what happened the first 3 months of his, ascension to that position as the president, just by who they thought, or the Nigerians thought he is, they adjusted. Everybody were like, I'm not gonna come late, I'm not gonna do this. Everywhere was, go and check it. But afterwards, they realized that, man, this man is, maybe the people. So one good leader, again, I said, will do almost nothing in a broken system.
Yeah.
I'm not here to defend Buhari, but I think if he had the right people around him that would enforce what the Nigerians think he embodies, or embodied rather, because he's no more with us. I think Nigeria would have been the best nation as we speak in Africa, based on the metrics that we have economically, in terms of sanity, institutional reliability. There will be a predictable future. But we lost it. So that is the issue.
Okay, for Nigerians that are still in Nigeria, what is your message to them?
Okay, you see, what I want to say is that patriotism, again, is not geographical. Patriotism is psychological. Psychological meaning your mindset towards the building of the people. So you can be in Nigeria and not be patriotic. So what are you doing with that office? What are you doing with that opportunity? What are you doing with that that position you find yourself? What are you doing with that friendship you have with your neighbors, your family? What are you doing in your family? So because if we say we want to bring back the value to Nigeria, it means we have to first sanitize ourselves, sanitize our home, sanitize our community. Gone are those days where they say a child is not just a child for the parent, it's not just given birth to the parent alone, but it's going to be taken care of and be brought up by the community. Right? So, but now, Bami no more making it means that help me beat down my child. What he did is wrong. Meanwhile, inside of you are angry that your child is being beaten. These days, you see parents go to schools to go and harass teachers. Right? You see parents go to schools to go and ensure that the school double or promotes their children. And how do I put it now? Like if you're in primary 1, you want the child to be in primary 4. You see all manner of corruptions. What we're just seeing on the newspaper is just a tip of an iceberg. If you check what is happening around us, so everyone out there, if we really want to build Nigeria, we want to build the nation that we want, the Africa we want, like I've always said, then we have to invest heavily in our personal value system. We need to fix ourselves first, fix the system, and I said, the system include marriage, family, right? Includes
schools, religious places.
Religious spaces. If they tell you what is happening in the religious spaces, these your leaders, they also worship in some religious places, not in some. They worship in religious places. They have their religious centers where they worship. So what is the religious leader teaching them? Who is encouraging them? We know what has been happening over the years in terms of that sector, that system of, religion. So everyone out there, if value really mean anything to you, then it's important you begin to redefine what you believe as good, because your good may be different from what the national goodness or goodness means. And when I hear people say evil triumph where good people do nothing, I don't believe that. Good people do something for you to define whether they are good or bad. I can fold my hands and you judge me good. You may judge me wrong. If I fold my hands and I do nothing when evil is happening or it's taking place, and you said I'm bad, that is not true. It is what I do that determines whether, and at that moment, because the data I'm consuming, the evil I am seeing, and I'm not talking, one day it will reach its maturity stage where I will do double. Right? So when evil triumph, and they say good people, no, they are not good people. They are only evil people waiting for maturity, waiting for their own time. A lot of people that are complaining today about poor leadership, governance, and all, they are just waiting for their own turn. Just like what you currently have. It is my turn. So that's just what I need everyone out there to remember. If you want the nation that works, then you need to ensure you have your own personal system that is working. Your friends, you don't give room for corruption. You don't give room for unpredictability. You don't give room for unaccountability. People cannot hold ordinary money. When I mean ordinary money, like ordinary, say 10 million naira. You borrow money, you can't even repay, and you are given, how much did I owe you? Why are you disturbing me? These are values that we need to ask ourselves. And so what are we showing people on the internet? What are we teaching the younger generation? Because for us to have a great nation, we have to redefine and redesign it. That's where I would stop because of our time. Yes.
All right. So last question. What would you say to the Nigerians in diaspora in terms of building this national value system? What do you say to them? What's your message to them? Because at the end of the day, we are getting to realize that the reason why we have the nation, the kind of nation that we have today, and the kind of leaders that we have today, why Nigeria is where it is at the moment, and in global developmental metrics, is because of our value system, right? So what is your message to the Nigerians in diaspora in terms of national value?
For the Nigerians in diaspora, I want them to know that there's no place like home. No matter how long you stay in the foreign land, so long you still have this pigment, this melanin, you are a black man, you are an African. You may build all manner of skyscrapers over there now. There's no place like home. You will still be told that you don't belong here. So if you think that by virtue of your privilege to Japa, you've escaped, like I said earlier, in the migration spectrum, the three kinds of citizens, the exit citizen. So for the exit citizen who have cut off their engagement with Nigeria and they think that I have nothing to do with this nation, Nigeria. Well, one day, you will be reminded that you don't belong there. So, and for the remote citizens who are constantly giving back to their nation, Nigeria, mentoring, we have a lot of them. There's one of our executive partner for the African Student Leadership Summit, Mr. Amos. He resides in New York. Constantly, he mentors with us, he contributes. Yes, he doesn't show off physically, but he gives his time, his resources for the development of Nigeria, right? We share knowledge. And then for we need more bridge citizens who, with their global influence, they can influence better governance, in Nigeria. Not people who, with their global influence, they still add pain to Nigeria. I mean, you have a lot of them that will go out there and still support bad governance. You are out there, you are supporting bad governance, and you are in a good system. Is that not wickedness? That's sheer wickedness. So what I want to say is, finally, is that, one, patriotism is not geographical. Patriotism is psychological. It's about how much you are investing in your nation, how committed you are in building the nation. That is patriotism. Also, Japa is not it's not a moral discourse. It's a rational survival strategy. People don't leave country, they leave system. They leave corrupt system. They leave a system that is not predictable for their investment. People can invest. I mean, when I hear that the government was going up and down the entire world to woo investors, I mean, it's so simple. Just fix your country, and
then you attract investors.
You attract them. You can't tell me that the governor of Lagos State is going around to woo anybody.
Or even the governor of Abia
State. Within 5 minutes, he was able to convince the investors in this last summit that was held in Lagos.
In Lagos, yeah.
You can see what they are people. There's this saying in Yoruba language that says "Bamigberumi." Now you want people to come help you carry your load, and when the person approaches the load, you are not bending down to carry the load,
exactly.
to help. So it is when you are bending down, that's when you can call people to come, help you. So when you fix your home, I believe, when we fix Nigeria rather, I believe investors would come. And also, Nigerian dream is not a slogan. It is a pathway, and that pathway must be believable. And that believability comes when efforts, is connected to reward. When effort is not connected to reward, what would you do? You will just be tired. See, I don't do this anymore, and you will be tired. You'll be frustrated out of the country, not because you don't like Nigeria, but because the system does not provide that enabling environment where you can thrive. Right? So, and also, the future belongs to nations that can convert talent, mobility into national capability. Right? So, if we don't take advantage of this Japa, we will lose it. What you don't put to use will become disuse. What you don't put to use become disuse. China, I mean, we have history is there. China once had it, but they intentionally, strategically designed it in a way that once it was time, they call back their people back home, and they build a country that we all are going there to take selfie. Stay in your country and fix it. So, and if you are there, ensure that you're also fixing the country, not adding more pain. A lot is happening. But because of time, what the diaspora Nigerians are doing to even the people in Nigeria, you got a job, right, that is paying you, say, $500 per hour, for instance. Now you recruit Nigerians, and you are paying them $50 per hour. Is that not wickedness? So is that the nation you so when you say I should talk to them, they already know, because we believe that these people are learned people, right?
Yeah, they are.
But I've come to realize that you can
be learned and still have very poor value system as a person, as an individual.
So that is the issue. So we have people over there that are not better than people that are at home. So whether you are there or here, ensure that you are patriotic. And how do you know you are patriotic to the nation Nigeria? When you are invested, when you are committed to building the nation Nigeria, because a country becomes attractive when effort and opportunity begin to meet. So the question is not just that people leave. The question should be that what makes people
leave?
What do we build? What condition do we create that we help talented people to stay.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Charles, for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on this podcast. So you've heard it from Mr. Charles Ekenedilichukwu. Japa is not an issue of patriotism. It is a survival strategy. And it also reveals that Nigeria, we have deeper issues, we have problems, systemic problems that we should look into. And in solving those systemic problems, we should confront our value system as a nation, starting from as individuals, as a parent, as a mother, as a father, as a teacher, as a religious leader. Whoever you are, confront your belief, your value system as a person. And in doing that, I believe that we'll be able to build a national value system that will make Nigeria an enabling environment for our young talents, for innovative minds, for creative minds to thrive. So thank you again for joining us on this podcast.